Welcome into Blue Jays Today, folks, where today we have got to talk about this past weekend of Blue Jays baseball. Some fans are kind of pissed off at John Schneider. Gee, never heard that one before.
That's a new conversation, yeah.
You know what's actually kind of funny, man? It's kind of funny. It happens almost every year around May.
Yeah, always May. We get off to a bad start, and then it's like, oh, John Schneider's fault.
Yeah.
It's always his fault.
It's like, when is John Schneider going to get fired? And especially, too, because very recently, the Texas Rangers, they just made a firing over there in their coaching
hitting
staff.
coach,
In their hitting coach,
Yeah.
right? So it's kind of like the unofficial start of, oh, you can fire people now. And, of course, that has got people wondering about John Schneider. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the poor brand of baseball that the Toronto Blue Jays did play this past week and had a chance to get back to 500. Obviously fell short. They are now 2 games below 500. And of course, we will talk about that upcoming series against the Angels and some big moves that they're making right now. Bringing in some pitchers, hopefully going to help out the boys right now. Because even though the pitchers is definitely one of the strengths of the Toronto Blue Jays, we're kind of seeing some of the other shoe drop right now. You know, that 4-man rotation, that's maybe not going to work long term.
Yeah, I laugh because it's like, yes, technically it is the strength, but when you have a pretty weak team, like, it's still, you know, compared to the rest of the league, it's like not the greatest. Because like ERA wise, we're still bottom 10 for terms of starting pitching. Bullpen's a little bit better, but even they had some rocky, you know, outings this weekend.
That's kind of crazy, man. It's like it was what, like 2-3 weeks ago, we were like top 5 starting ERA. The bullpen was looking phenomenal.
That's April.
That's
April for you.
You know, you have one bad outing here, one bad outing there, one bullpen blow up, and poof, you know, what are we as a organization?
Well,
and that's what a lot of people are wondering right now. Let's get immediately over to why people are pissed off at John Schneider. It all kind of comes down, well, I think it's a medley of everything, right? It is the fact that the Toronto Blue Jays are losing more games than they've won. It is the fact that the offense has been so goddamn frustrating sometimes. But it's also the fact that on Saturday's game, a game where the Toronto Blue Jays certainly had the opportunity to win in the 9th inning, 4 earned runs come in, and there was some finger pointing going on, and not just Jimmy Garcia, but John Schneider, who kept Jimmy Garcia in that game maybe longer than he should have been.
Yeah, everyone kind of took to the internet after they saw that John Schneider kept him in for about 32 pitches. And you can kind of see, I'll bring it up right here if you're watching on YouTube. I'll bring up like the sequence of what exactly went down here in the 9th inning. Jimmy Garcia, first of all, comes in the 9th inning. There was no Jeff Hoffman. This is after Jeff Hoffman just pitched. I believe it was, 26 pitches the prior day. The night before, mind you, it's a day game, so the night before he is not available apparently. So Jimmy Garcia,
12 hours of rest,
12 hours of rest, like, so. And he's also been pitching a shitload too. Let me just say that, like, he's been pitching so much more than most pitchers in the MLB. So yeah, I mean, if you want to give him an off day to have Jimmy Garcia come out and close out a game, I actually don't hate the move at all. To start with,
not to get us completely off topic here, off the train. But just another major shout out here to Jeff Hoffman for being as incredible as he is. I saw this statistic the other day, which kind of blew me away. Jordan Romano in 2022 or 2021, I forget which year it was. One of the years he had a phenomenal year. He pitched 64 innings, had like 2.14 ERA. Like, the guy was crazy. 23 saves. He had a 2.4 WAR on the course of that whole season.
Right.
Hoffman's already got half of that right now. I just wanted to throw that out there and remind everybody how incredible Jeff Hoffman is doing right now. But of course, it has been a big workload.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really want to overwork him, so I do understand where John Schneider was coming from. Also, before this outing, Jimmy Garcia was scoreless. Let's not forget that. This guy literally hadn't given up a run all season long.
Dude,
so
I jinxed him.
I know. You made the short.
I made a
you
short
him.
about him. It was like the day prior. I made a short about Jimmy Garcia. I was like, what more does this guy need to do? We got to put respect on his name. Fucking next day, 4 earned runs, blow up, loss.
I thought about that when I made a Mason Fluardi short today, and I literally thought about that. I'm like, fuck, this guy is about to get blown up tomorrow.
Again, off day today, so fingers crossed that the juju doesn't carry over to tomorrow like it did with mine.
Right, but going back to that game on Saturday, Jimmy Garcia coming in the 9th inning, he's got a 2-run lead. I personally thought, okay, makes sense. This guy's been absolutely nails this season. However, he wasn't so nails here. Gives up a leadoff single to Kwan. And granted, these are all grinding at-bats, mind you. This doesn't really show it. Nolan Jones called on strikes. Okay, one gone. Dope. He walks Santana. Grinding at-bat. Pinch runner comes in. He strikes out Manzardo. Okay, 2 outs, runner at first and second. Great. Bo Naylor walks. Okay, this is where people were thinking, Jimmy Garcia giving up a hit and 2 walks, maybe doesn't have his best stuff. Maybe you do get Jeff Hoffman, and that's where I think maybe the argument is coming in. But we'll bring it up a little bit later. John Schneider trusts in Jimmy Garcia, and who would have thought that Daniel Sheeman, I guess that's how you pronounce his name, hits a freaking grand slam, and that was all basically said and done. The Blue Jays went 3 up, 3 down. That was the end of the game, and that's where Blue Jay fans are pissed off. Now, let's start the conversation right here. Do you think fans are warranted the feeling of getting pissed off at Schneider for leaving Jimmy Garcia in the game right there?
I mean, I think that fans can be pissed off at John Schneider, but I think that it's got to be an amalgamation of things rather than just that game in a vacuum. Jimmy Garcia was phenomenal right up until that point. I mean, the guy had looked effectively unhittable at that current juncture. I kind of agree with Schneider keeping him in.
It's our guy. He hasn't given up an effing run.
Right? I mean, like,
and it doesn't look like he has the stuff today, but you got to trust him.
Yeah,
right?
And that's the thing, right? I don't know, like, where else you would have gone. Now, that being said, hindsight is 2020. Yeah. Had you taken him out, had you put, I don't know,
Jeff Hoffman.
Sure, Jeff Hoffman, or maybe even somebody else, right? Because maybe Jeff Hoffman is he's not even available at all.
Right.
Like, did Chad Green have any pitches? Could you put him there? I don't know. You know, I'd have to go back and look at, like, who actually would have been available. Would it have worked out better? Maybe it would have.
It actually kind of looks like it was just, not to like kind of counter your point or anything, but it looks like it was just Jimmy. It was just of the back end guys here. I mean, maybe you could. Well, Fluardi just pitched. You pitched Chad Green in that game, so literally you had Brendan Little go 23 and 26. Yeah, I mean, it's Jimmy. It's Jimmy.
That's
Jimmy
the thing.
to close it out,
I'm looking
right?
at that right now, and obviously you couldn't, you can't put any of the bottom guys in. We're not putting fucking Dylan Tate in this situation with, the bases loaded or whatever it was, right? So I think at that moment in time, Jimmy Garcia is still in the game. I do understand, though, that people are upset at John Schneider because John Schneider is, of course, the face right now, or I guess the manager's always the one that's going to take the blame. And the Toronto Blue Jays, that was a game where they should have won. I saw a lot of people on X as well discussing the fact that the runners in scoring position for that game wasn't where it needed to be. And that is something that I wanted to bring up here because I am starting to get a little frustrated and pissed off about all of this. Can we go back to the game log, please, for Saturday's game? Scrolling up right here, I mean, sorry, do you mind if I
go for it.
I'm just going to take this right here. Okay, scrolling up, you look at the Toronto Blue Jays here, all right? We got 8 hits compared to their 4. All right, we got 8 hits compared to their 4. We got 5 walks as well. You only put up 3 runs. Right? That's 13 guys on base right there that you had an opportunity to potentially score. Obviously, did not come around and do it. We got the runners in scoring position stats right here on the season. And this, I think, is something that needs to be talked about a lot more. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that this is all John Schneider's fault.
No,
because it's like, this is the players out there that are doing this shit. But once again, something that we've always talked about, the Toronto Blue Jays are close to the bottom, 27th in OPS with runners in scoring position. They could have been in a situation in that game where you don't even need to bring out Jimmy Garcia or, a back-end guy or anything like that had you scored more runs earlier.
I hear what you're saying. I will say, though, in this game in particular, like, you just kind of need Jimmy Garcia to close it out right there, and kind of circling all the way back. I think, right here in the chat, I think it was Focal. Yeah, Focal Y-Rod was warming up at the pen. So it was just Jimmy. Y-Rod was the only one that was available in that game.
Well, I agree with you there. But what I'm saying is that, okay, had you put up 5 runs instead of 3, it's a different situation. Maybe you don't bring in Jimmy in that moment. Maybe he doesn't get blown up. Maybe you're totally fine, right? And that all comes back to the fact that you had opportunities earlier on in the ball game to put it out of reach for Cleveland. You let them stick around. and of course, it came in cost.
I would say that's not the main reason why they lost that game. I think, there have been moments. I mean, hell, the game yesterday, for example, on Sunday, that was a great example of runners in scoring positions, just not cashing them in, right? I mean, we had that situation right in the early beginning of the game, 1st and 3rd, nobody out. We made a base running mistake. We had a ground ball to right side, probably going to be a 2-ball anyways, but you don't cash in there, and then the rest of the game, you just fell out of it. You were down 4-0. You almost came back. You clawed yourself back 3 runs right there in the 4th inning, but again, just not able to score with runners scoring position at all. So
okay.
I think in that game, I would weight it more on that.
Okay, sure. If we're going game by game, fine. I'm talking across the board right now. The Toronto Blue Jays, I believe they're averaging 3.5 runs per game. That's just not enough, right? Yep. And Jimmy Garcia, okay, sure, he had a bad game right there. His season-long ERA is around the 2.5 mark. That's kind of what we would have hoped. So he's doing his job right now. But when you only score 3.5 runs per game, even a team like the Guardians, who aren't putting up that much offensively speaking, they will be able to then eventually get to you. And that's what we saw on the weekend, man.
Yeah, I mean, we were beating them. They had 4 hits on that Saturday, and they had 3 before that grand slam. So, honestly, we were out hitting them, and we're coming up clutch. It's just, it's a concoction of shit. I think overall, what we saw from that weekend was classic. That's how the Guardians are winning ball games today. Remember coming into the series, and it was well, how the fuck are they, having a positive record here when their offense is one of the worst in baseball, their pitching is one of the worst in baseball. It's just concoction of weird fucking baseball that they're just playing right now. And the Blue Jays are playing some weird fucking baseball and some weird fucking bad baseball right now.
Well, that's what I'm saying, man. It's ultimately, I look at this team, and I understand the frustration and the negativity surrounding the squad right now, because you finally started to see a little, at the beginning of the week, you're starting to see a little bit of momentum cooking here. And then it's boom, we get Cleveland in, who's not that good. And there was just time and time again, various opportunities. And that's what I keep coming back to. It's the missed opportunities from this team. A better squad, a better team, puts both of those games out of reach. Maybe not necessarily. Well, honestly, probably Sunday as well, because you had tons of times that you could have cashed in more runs. We need to see the offense pick up the pitching, and I think that for me is what we're not seeing. Is once again we were looking for the pitching or the pitching to lock it. It's okay, we scored 3 runs. You guys got to close this out, right? And that's we're doing our bare minimum here is the offense. I want to see the offense pick up the pitching. And that is something that we haven't really seen, honestly, hardly at all. So
let's talk about that, because, people are coming out here blaming John Schneider for, that one bullpen decision that happened on the weekend. Who's to blame for the offense? Because for me, it's the same thing that I'm blaming for in the John Schneider, Jimmy Garcia situation. The players just got to come down and they got to execute in the moments. You know what I mean? When you have a runner in scoring position, you got to come down, you got to execute. And they're not doing it so far this season. They're just simply not doing it. And who's to blame for that? For me, it's the individual players. We've already got a hitting coach change in here. I guess maybe it's taken him some time to, get acclimated to the Blue Jays system, the Blue Jays players, and to pick up on what he's preaching. But you got to eventually start producing. It's as simple as that, man.
It really does just come down to they need to play better, right? Because, okay, we could, let's just put it this way, all right? You fire John Schneider. Maybe you get that. Okay, let me ask you. Do you think that firing John Schneider would help the offense hit more home runs or, score more with runners in scoring position?
If they did, it would be a coincidence. I really, no.
We might get that, week to 2 week long, boost of, oh, you fired your manager. Now everybody's we're
on feeling the pressure.
Yeah, we're feeling the fucking pressure. Yeah. So, now we're really going to play. Yeah. But ultimately, in the long, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think so. No. And I don't think you can, you just brought David Popkins in, so it's not like you can get rid of that guy now, because you got to give this guy time to, get his system, get his way of thinking into these players. And it looks like, for some of them that's happened, for others that hasn't.
Right.
So honestly, yeah, it really does come to, and that's the most frustrating thing, because you are 5th in payroll, and you did just shell out the biggest contract.
Do we blame?
So who's going to be blamed right here,
And it's simply, guys, in my opinion, you gotta blame the players. I think the players will be the first people to tell you that it's our fault.
Right.
It's do you really think John Schneider's out there walking batters right now? And do you think John Schneider's out there or Dave Popkins out there with runners in scoring position? No. At the end of the day, you're a major league effing player, and you gotta come up with the base hit. You got to come up with the final out in the inning. And they're not doing it. They're not doing it right now. I'm looking up right here, like, who exactly, we're on the runners and scoring position conversation. Who exactly isn't coming up with it? I mean, you got big boys coming up. Bo Bichette's coming up with it. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is coming up with it. Hell, Alejandro Kirk is coming up with it. But it's everybody else. You got George Springer, even though the overall numbers are nice. He's not coming up with it with runners and scoring position. I'm just looking at average.
Will Wagner's not even on the team anymore, so you can throw that one out.
Yep, you're gone. Anthony Santander. He's obviously had a lot of opportunities with runners in scoring position. So, I mean, again, it's a long season. Things are going to come back around, but it's something to note early on. They're not hitting with runners scoring position. And I think it's way too early to fire John Schneider. I think at the end of the conversation.
It's certainly too early to fire John for this season.
Yeah.
I can understand, like if people are still like, again, this is a culmination of shit, right? This is 2022, 2023, and then some, because again, he's been here for a while at this point. I think that, if the team is a horrendous month of May and, like things are just not working out, then maybe you do, just for something to do. But that's what it really comes down to. It's like you're firing John Schneider, just fucking throwing something at the wall, praying to God that this is going to be the difference. And it probably won't.
And who steps in if you fire him? Don Mattingly or DeMarlo Hale?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You know what I mean? Like it'd probably be DeMarlo Hale, the bench coach, but still, like...
Let's get Max Scherzer to do it.
Yeah, seriously. That $15 million's got to go somewhere.
If you're not going to go on the field, teach these boys how to play baseball.
Yeah. Again, like... It's easier said than done. And I mean, Sophie out here saying, I think if we're out of it by the deadline, John will be gone, and that could be it. If we're seriously out of the games by then... Possibly. Or they wait till the offseason.
Honestly, at that point, like if we're talking straight timeline right here, if at the deadline you're finding that this team is selling, then I don't think that Sean's going to get another go or a kick at the can. I mean, Ross, we don't know because he did just get the Vladdy extension. Mark, we don't know. But like John, for sure, like somebody would have to take that hit, and it would probably have to be John Schneider.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So with all that being said, folks, I mean, I know everybody's pissed off. I think we still got to give it a little bit of time because, I mean, overall, the Blue Jays aren't really in a terrible spot. I mean, we're not out of it by any means because the American League is kind of just up for the taking. It's like no one's really running away with it entirely. We're only 3 games back from the Yankees, and we're 4th place. So you got the Rays in front of us, the Red Sox in front of us, and then the Yankees. So we're not like entirely out of it yet.
Okay, so let me ask you this then, right? Just from a record standpoint, you're right. We are only 3 games back from the New York Yankees. Right. And obviously, okay, like, and that's one fucking weekend. Like we could win 3, they could lose 3, and we're right there. But look, some quick math here. We are 85 runs different from the Yankees. So are we fooling ourselves by saying it's like, oh, well, like we're still kind of, because we are still in it. We're definitely still in it. But when you look at the tier difference between how they're playing baseball and, comparatively speaking to how we're playing baseball and the expected win-loss record, and I remember this is something that we brought up last year a lot, the expected win-loss record is saying the Yankees should obviously have more wins. 22 is what they're saying right there. And the Toronto Blue Jays should have significantly less wins at 13.
Right.
Or is it going to get worse, I guess is what I'm saying.
I mean, the math would say that yes, but I would also say we've gotten very lucky that we survived, the first month of baseball. And I know we got to survive another month of baseball, but we got to wait for, Santander to kick it into full gear. I mean, we're starting to see Kirk kick it in right now, and that's great to see. But
I do love that.
We got to talk about that a little bit. Kirk's had a great week of baseball, but like you got to wait for Santander to kick it in because he is the major reason why we're not coming up in big moments. We need to, the home runs, even though we are still last, they are coming around for the guys that we needed to come around for, like Vladdy, Santander. Bo Bichette hit his first this week. So, it's starting to slowly move around. It just so happens that while this is also happening, we're also getting some underperformances from our guys. So we just have to finally get into our groove into May, and maybe that's the optimistic part of me thinking, right?
No, it's definitely the optimistic part of you thinking. I mean,
absolutely.
I'll put it simply like this. The brand of baseball that the Blue Jays have played up until this point is not good enough and isn't sustainable to actually, make a run at the playoffs. In fact, if they continue to play this brand of baseball, the numbers say that it's going to get worse, and I do trust the numbers there. We need to see a significant change in the way that they're playing. Because when you're looking at some of those other squads, like Boston and like New York, they're getting unlucky right now in terms of their win-loss record.
Right.
So they're going to start, eventually the other side of that coin is going to show for them, and they're going to start picking it up. You got to play better baseball if you're the Toronto Blue Jays if you actually want to be in this thing, even though right now, yes, it's only 3 games difference.
Yeah, and like I even say this weekend, like, yeah, we lost the series to the Guardians, but like it felt weird where it felt like we could have won so easily. You know what I mean? A couple of things go wrong the other way. Like, for example, in that Saturday game, or even we, don't hit into that weird double play. Like, we're so close. It's like my golf game. We're so close that the results are almost right around the corner. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
I feel like we said that last year, though.
No, I think last year we knew at this point we were cooked.
Oh, no.
Last year at this point we thought we knew we were cooked.
16 and 18 on May 4th last year.
Yeah, right. But it was a different brand. I really felt last year like the offense was a shell because we didn't have any Bo Bichette. Whereas this year we do have Bo Bichette, we have Vladdy, and we have the opportunity for Santander that we know is coming. Kirk's playing better, Springer's playing better. So like for me, the feeling is like we're so close. And in the bullpen honestly looks 10 times better than it did last year. It's the starting pitching is going through a rough patch right now. So I would say the feeling right now is better than it did, even though the record's not showing it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe you guys let me know in the chat.
I'd be interested to take a look at the numbers and see if you're onto something there, or if it is just the recency bias, believing in it. Because I do wonder. It's like offensively speaking. I mean, we got Bo Bichette right now, but the numbers across the board are still pretty shit. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like I just wonder where we were in comparison to last year, and if there is something to be said for that.
Yeah, because like I know it's weird when you look at it right here, like average on base OPS, like that's a bottom 10.
Like it's not good.
It doesn't look really good. But the guys that you want to be doing well are off to a mediocre start, let's say, but you feel like something's coming. Again, I'm very optimistic right now that it is like right around the corner. So I'm not hitting the panic button just yet.
All right, I hope that you're right, man. I mean, the good news for you and for all of us is that LA Angels
they are coming up.
That's one of those get right series.
Yeah.
If there is one.
Yeah.
If there is a get right series out there, it's LA Angels, right? So honestly, that would be one right there. You want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video, or do we want to talk about the new moves?
Yeah, let's talk about the newest sponsor. I guess not newest because we had them on before, but they're back on it, everybody. Let's give a big shout out to everybody to Amsterdam Brewhouse. They're back, everybody. We did the event on March 27th down at the Brewhouse. It's an awesome spot to be because it's just 5 minutes away from the Rogers Center where the best Jay fans tailgate for pre and post game beers. I'll be honest, when after the Jays game on the 27th of the opener, the place got lit. It was huge. It was bumping right after the game. So go check it out, everybody. Damn good craft beer, locally brewed in Toronto in the on-site brewery down there at the Brewhouse, guys. Amsterdam Brewhouse, 245 Queens Quay West.
And keep in mind, that's after we got smoked.
That's after we got smoked too.
11-2 or something like that. I forget what the final score was, but
12-2, and everybody was. It
was brutal as all holy hell. So I mean, honestly, as well too. I mean, obviously Jays are happening right now, but if you're in town for Maple Leafs or something like that, I imagine they'd probably
they'd be bumping
for that
they'd be bumping
as well. Very fun game happening tonight, guys. Let me know in the chat who you're riding with, Leafs or Panthers, and in how many games. Let's transition and talk a little bit about some of the roster moves that the Toronto Blue Jays have made recently. Some of these are honestly rather exciting. The most exciting one, I would say, is Spencer Turnbull getting a 1-year MLB contract. He was optioned the Florida Complex League for the Toronto Blue Jays. I imagine he's going to have to ramp up, do all that shit, get himself good to go. But that is somebody that you're going to see in a Blue Jays uniform, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and, we've been searching for, that, I guess, next Band-Aid until Max Scherzer comes back. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But Spencer Turnbull could be not only a Band-Aid, but have some serious upside if you decide to move him eventually to the bullpen. Last year for the Philadelphia Phillies, and I'm shocked this guy wasn't signed at all by anybody last year. He actually had 7 starts and he had 10 relief appearances. And in those 7 starts and 10 relief appearances, he racked up 54 innings with an ERA of 2.65 and a whip very close to 1 at 1.049. Again, I'm shocked why nobody gave this guy an opportunity, especially being 32 years old, having a track record in the MLB. I mean, hell, it wasn't that long ago where literally, again, he had 50 innings in Detroit, 2021. He got injured, but was very phenomenal. And then coming back from injury was rough, and then he found it again. So it's like, why didn't we give this guy another chance? This guy's coming to the Blue Jays. I imagine this is the 5th guy, a Band-Aid, in a week or two. Again, like Nick said, you got to get ramped up if you're Spencer Turnbull, but this is the Band-Aid and upside that we need eventually.
I think it's like Turnbull and Eric Lauer now, and that's,
hell yeah,
we're gonna be rolling with those boys in that 5th start. Whoever's hot, you get the start, and then the other one comes in after the fact. That might just be what it is until Max Scherzer gets his thumb together and can throw the baseball. He was transferred to the 60-day IL, which I think is kind of like one of these corresponding things where it's like, oh shit, Scherzer's not going to be here for a little while.
Yeah.
Let's go get Spencer Turnbull, because obviously he can fill in and he can do that role.
And for everybody, there's people freaking out online thinking that 60-day IL, is that 60 days plus where we are?
No.
It's added on to when he hit the IL initially. So still, we all knew this. He would be potentially coming back late May. Well, if you do the math, he was on the IL, I think it was March 29th. So you do 2 months later, May 29th would be the day that he's off the IL. So again, maybe looking for an early June kind of return, but that's that month timeline that you're looking for the Band-Aid for Spencer Turnbull. But speaking of Max Scherzer, let's discuss this, because a lot of people were upset, not only that he's on the IL for a long time, but that this could be a potential bust for the Blue Jays signing. Where are you in the feeling of, Scherzer and bust category?
Yeah, well, okay, it could be, right? And that's totally on the table. But that's also something that I said months ago when they made the signing to begin with, right? It's possible that we've actually seen every single pitch that Max Scherzer will throw in a Blue Jays uniform.
Yeah,
that's
three
very
innings.
possible, right?
50 pitches.
It may have already happened. I still don't care. I still think that he's awesome to have in the dugout. I love it when I see highlights of him flipping a coin over there and trolling the umpire. I love it when I see him, chatting it up with Bowden Francis, talking to him. I assume they're talking game plan and doing all that shit. I love it, when I hear him come out and when I hear him talking with the boys. I love it when I hear stuff about him taking all the minor leaguers out to super. This is a clubhouse presence.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say. This is a clubhouse presence. We always knew that he could get injured, but what he's providing off the field, I think, is invaluable.
Yeah, and I'll say this for anybody who's upset, being like, "Wow, we paid this guy $15 million." Rogers just dropped $500 million on Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And there's no salary cap, folks. Let me remind you. I know we're in hockey season right now. There's no salary cap. So $15 million, they poop $15 million on the regular. They don't care about $15 million. Where were the Blue Jays before they signed Max Scherzer? They're in the same place now. If Max Scherzer was on the field, though, and he was throwing up L's and getting blown up, and you have an argument that he's now being slotted in the rotation and he's losing us ball games. He hasn't lost us a game yet. You know what I mean? Maybe you could argue his first start, but he really hasn't hurt the team at all. So the $15 million is what everyone's looking at, but Rogers doesn't care, so you shouldn't care either. That's my point.
Yeah, I guess the one argument you could be made for, why this is a bad signing is that, they didn't go out and they didn't get somebody better for that spot, right? You didn't go out and get Corbin Burns this offseason.
Well, he was already gone at that point.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what I mean. He was already gone. But, whoever that would have been at that current moment, I just think it's a hindsight's 2020 thing. Sure, we knew that injuries were a concern. They are still a concern right now. I'm just crossing my fingers, hoping he gets back. But even if he doesn't, I'm still cool with it.
Yeah.
Moving on and talking about the other move that the Toronto Blue Jays did make was bringing in Jose Urania to a 1-year MLB contract. That's a cool name, honestly. Yeah. Urania. I can't roll my R's, guys. I try, but it's just it's rough.
Same.
This is somebody that hasn't had the greatest MLB career up until this point, but he's an arm. And he's probably going to be in the back end of the bullpen. Is that what we're thinking for him?
Yeah.
Could he start a game? Is that what they're thinking too?
I don't even know this guy's ability. Because he used to start,
right?
Yeah, he used to start. In 2023, he started 10 games in here. Yeah, there you go. But he's been moved to the bullpen recently. Texas last year, he did not start when the one appearance came up for the Mets. I guess he might have the ability. He's being thrusted right into it. He was with the Mets literally this year before they got rid of him. Now he's with the Jays. So, again, it's one of those Band-Aid solutions until Eric Swanson. This is the Eric Swanson, I guess, depth replacement.
Yeah.
He's there. He's our long relief guy. But again, like him, like Dylan Tate, like Eric Lauer, just filler spots right now. And this is, again, going back to the point of like why we're being so careful with overworking these guys, because we don't want to play these guys. Not in a single chance in hell do I want to play these guys at any given moment. So, you know, this guy's just coming in to fill in when we're 5 up, 5 down.
Dude, this is also like just how the injuries snowball and cause, you know, like all these domino effects. It's like the one Scherzer injury and then the one, you know, Eric Swanson injury.
And then the Sandlin injury, too.
Sandlin, forgot about that one.
Guy, right?
But, you know, it's like you get those in there and then all of a sudden, like, you know, this bullpen that started to look pretty good. And now it's like, oh, wait a second. We only really have like 3 solid arms and the rest of them are question marks, and that's kind of where we're at right now. Yeah, we got somebody in the chat saying we need Nick Sandlin back.
We do.
Can't believe that that's what we're saying at this current juncture, but here we are, everybody.
It's true, man.
So that's why they got Urania, just because of all of those other injuries. I think that there was some update about Swanson too. Is he on the?
Yeah, he got moved to the 60-day IL as well. So again, like he's not coming back anytime soon. So you're hoping once Spencer Turnbull comes up, he can act as that 5th starter, and then, you know, maybe give a little bit of relief to these other bullpen guys.
We just need him to play well,
That's
right? It's not a problem if they play good.
Yeah.
Like, it's never, if Spencer Turnbull is just elite, then this is not a problem.
My expectation, honestly, my expectation for Turnbull is higher than some other guys, but like my expectation is like, can you give me 5 innings of 3 earned run ball? Can you like give us an opportunity to like eat innings and like not blow up?
And here is the problem, though. Okay,
it won't help us win.
Listen. Here's the problem, and this is what I was bringing up earlier when I said when you score 3.5 runs. That's not enough, because you're going to get guys like Spencer Turnbull who do come out and actually give you a decent outing of 5 innings, 3 earned runs, and it still won't fucking matter.
I know.
Because you need to put up offensively speaking.
I know. And that's the fucking name of the game, eh? I mean, we needed to go at another bat to, you know, imagine if we got like Pete Alonso and Santander. Oh, we'd be not having this conversation at all.
I'm not ready to go down that route. No. We're not there
yet.
But
that's, you know, this is the roster we have. The roster's got to do a little bit better, especially offensively speaking. But that's the update right there, guys. I am excited about Turnbull. Obviously, it sucks that Scherzer's not coming back anytime soon, but that's the reality, again, of the situation. There was another injury, and again, when you look up Toronto Blue Jays news online, and you'll see a few articles that are titled, like, this is the worst update to Dalton Varsho ever recently. This is a scary thing. It's fine, guys. Dalton Varsho was scratched late from Sunday with back tightness. He's literally fine, everybody. He will be probably back tomorrow in the lineup. Dalton Varsho, even though he hit 2 home runs and he's super exciting and he's a big part of the lineup, everyone was freaking out like, oh, he's gone. No. He's fine. He'll be back. So that's the update there in case anybody was panicking. And
Watch us get the update on our phone right now.
Oh, can you imagine?
Dalton Varsho.
It's actually, you know, he's actually paralyzed. Yeah. It wasn't just back tightness, you know? Like, no, he should be fine. He'll be back because, let's be honest, that 2 home runs he hit boosted the lineup. And the lineup does look a lot better if he can actually give you something.
Yeah, man. I didn't expect a whole lot from him. So to see him actually contribute offensively speaking, on top of, and let's not forget, he was making crazy plays out there. He made the craziest play I've ever seen in my fucking life, defensively speaking, in the 2 games that he played. So having him back and having him actually produce certainly does lengthen that lineup out. Hopefully this was a precautionary thing. They probably saw the off day too on Monday and were like, all right, let's give him the day here plus the off day. Then maybe you can play the whole series against LA next week or this week now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, everything's good there, everybody. We're good. And Dalton Varsho, should be back in the lineup. We've got 148 people in here right now. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button and subscribe to Blue Jays Today. We're about to break into the upcoming series, give our predictions. But before we do, everybody, let's give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this Blue Jays Today show.
Whoa, time for a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code down below to join the action. Only available in Ontario. Must be 19 years of older to participate. Please play responsibly. Now, everyone, back to the content. Shout out to Betway for being absolutely phenomenal. This is a line.
Yeah.
You can take it if you want to take it. Scan the QR code right over there. If you want to take it, Toronto Blue Jays to make the playoffs, you would 3.2x your money.
Yeah,
that is what you would do.
Yeah, you would, guys. Like you brought up earlier, it's like, we're not going to make playoffs the way we're playing right now. But if you think it's going to turn around, you're like me. 3.2 times your money. It really changed over the course of the
I mean,
month.
look, you gotta trust, or you gotta pray to God that it is going to change, because the way that they're playing right now, we can all agree they will end up in the no category.
Yeah.
If you think Santander is going to do it, if you think Spencer Turnbull's that guy, if you believe in Dalton Varsho having the offensive juggernaut season we've all hoped for, then maybe hit that yes button right there on Betway.
Oh, actually, we do have a good reminder here. Sophie, thank you so much. We haven't crowned the J of the Week yet. Let's do it before we break into the series. This one, kind of curious. I was kind of curious of who was actually going to be the J of the Week, because it was kind of like a middling offense this week and like a middling pitching staff. But there was one guy that really stood out to me especially, and he is the J of the Week. Let's break into it. If it wants to play. Go. Fast forwarding the J of the Week graphic right there. The J of the Week is none other than Mason Fluardi, everybody. Mason Fluardi. Oh, I know Kirky walk-off was a good one as well. Kirky did have a very good week, but overall numbers in the entire week didn't really blow up at all. I mean, maybe it should have been Kirky. Maybe I jumped the gun right there. But Mason Fluardi gave you 4 1/3 innings, 0 hits. Everyone's booing me. My choice in the chat.
Sophie's also going to say that Kevin Gausman should have got it as well, which I understand. Gausman did have a really good start.
He did have a good start.
But it didn't result in anything.
They didn't win.
I'll argue for Fluardi, though, just because, again, I love Kirk, and it very easily could have been convinced for it being Kirk. I do think, though, that the fact that we're talking about somebody that's an MLB rookie that's been thrust into this thing that really hasn't given up an earned run at all since the debut. It's like he's just been phenomenal, right?
Yeah,
12 innings, 1 earned run, 11 strikeouts.
Ever since against the Mets.
Yeah,
he's
ever
been
since that
dominant.
first start, right? And you're talking about somebody that right now has a low 2 ERA. This is a difference maker in that bullpen. And had you not had a Mason Fluardi, I mean, now the bullpen looks disastrous.
Yeah.
It already looks kind of rough but around the edges, but this guy's helping it out a bunch.
Well, yeah, and when you look at the pitching staff, and this is why I gave it to him in the last literally the last 6 games, he's played, if I can get it up here, my thing's all over the place. He played 4 1/3 innings, again, 0 hits at all. Where Kirky, let's give a shout out to Kirky here as well. I'll get rid of this.
Well, we do need to shout out Kirky just because, again, there's been so many goddamn haters about Alejandro Kirk and everything like that, but he has been popping off recently. He's got a .333 batting average. The OPS is .809. He's been, most importantly, clutch in the moments where you need him to be. Also, too, the defense from Alejandro Kirk, top tier. Let's not forget. Top tier defense from Alejandro. So my guy right now is earning that extension payday, and hopefully if this continues, you're going to be looking at Alejandro Kirk's numbers at the end of May and going, oh shit, that's a good contract.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, also another big shout out here to Nathan Lucas, who had 8 at bats, and when he did come up clutch, he did come up clutch. But if anybody's going to earn it, if it's a reliever that's going to earn it, it's going to be because of 4 1/3 innings and just breaking out into the MLB. So big shout out to Mason Fluardi for getting that done. All right, very controversial J of the Week, because no one really did crazy above and beyond. But let's get into this upcoming series, everybody, against the Angels. Like we mentioned, the Jays are 16 and 18, and they're going on the road. They're going out to the West Coast, so our live play-by-plays this week are going to be late. 9:30 at night Eastern Standard Time. So you got right here in Game 1. Right now you got Thibodeau going to be starting out for the Toronto Blue Jays. Probably a bullpen day unless we hear that. And I could believe it, that they shift everybody down a start, like you have Jose Barrios actually going in this game. Because if you do start with a bullpen day, then at the end of the 6-game series or a 6-game road trip, you'll have to pitch another bullpen day. We'll see what they do here, but let's just go based on what we know so far. With this bullpen day, and you got Ty Anderson. He's off to a great start, 2-0 with a 2.67 ERA. What do you got going over the West Coast against the Angels?
Well, here's the thing, right? I look at the win-loss record of the LA Angels. They're 13 and 20. That doesn't even tell the full story, because they started out the season actually looking pretty decent and then have just been accumulating those L's rather recently. So, honestly, for me, like I said, this is a get-right series. LA, not a good team. Mike Trout on the injured list. His career is quickly coming to an end, not in a way that anybody would have hoped. I think that you have to win. This isn't just like a oh, like, yeah, like we got to do it. Like, you have to win. This, to me, if they lose this series, this is like the Colorado Rockies series of last year.
Right.
It was right around the same time, and that's what confirmed to me, no, actually, this team is bad. Right. When we lost the series to the Colorado Rockies, you cannot lose this series to the LA Angels. I don't care who the starter is. I don't care who the relievers are. I don't give a fuck. They win on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's literally the only thing stopping me is like, who the hell are we gonna pitch? Because when you look over at our bullpen guys, like, is it gonna be Urania coming in and pitching and Eric Lauer? And I don't know. And, we haven't been playing our best, but I do feel like we're right around the corner. I think I think even though it's a bullpen day versus Ty Anderson, I look at the rest of this Angel team and I'm like, my goodness, the bullpen's ass. Once you get through Ty Anderson, like, literally the worst bullpen in baseball, excuse me, is what you're up against. And then even though our bad pitchers are going to be up against the worst of the worst,
the only thing they do is hit home runs.
That's it. But I will say this, hard to get a sweep. I'm going to say we lose the first game, and it's going to suck ass.
Wow, dude! If we lose the first game, like I'm gonna be in the now. I know it's early May and everything. You never want to hit the panic button that early, but like, I might be hitting the panic button.
If we lose the bullpen game, I'll be panicking. I'll be like right here on the panic button, But that's why we got game 2 coming up, and then we'll have Jose Barrios up against our good friend, the Cooch, Yusei Kikuchi, on Wednesday.
Dude, if we get like dog walked by Yusei Kikuchi, if this lineup gets just ran through by Yusei Kikuchi, I will.
I'm panicking.
I'm panicking, man. I mean, look, we know how bad that guy is, or how bad he can be. He's obviously been good in the past, but he's also had some rough years for the Toronto Blue Jays. And this year, he's off to a kind of slow start as well.
You got to hope he doesn't get that like dog mentality against a former team kind of thing. But you got to hope that Barrios is going to lock in. He's been looking good recently, Barrios. I'm going to say, we got to win this game. This is a win game.
Yeah, we win this game as well. Jose Barrios has been nice. Look, Kikuchi is not that good, guys. He's 0-4.
Yeah, he's having a rough start.
If you lose to Yusei Kikuchi with no Mike Trout in that lineup,
Yeah, I know. I feel you. Then you got the next game, Chris Bassett. This is a guy you need on the bump to win some games. Bassett against Soriano. He's decent this year. Soriano hasn't been horrible. But again, for me, I said we lost the first game, so we got to win this one, and we'll win this one.
And I say we win this one, too. And I say that the Blue Jays sweep the LA Angels in Anaheim, get up to a record of 19-18. At that moment, we would be all the way back.
We would. If
they lose this series, we are quite literally, we're smashing the panic button. John Schneider gets fired. Everything traded. Sell it all. Burn it all.
Yeah.
It's over.
Because you got to win this series at least, if not sweep. And people are saying in the chat, you got to sweep, and you could very well. Because then you got the Mariners, who are second right now in
Mariners
win-loss
are playing
record.
Good baseball, dude.
Yeah,
and they always have our number too.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna be in their home ballpark.
Yeah.
Cal Raleigh,
big thumper,
can destroy us.
Oh yeah, he pads his stats against us, and his stats already padded.
It's already incredible.
So we have to win this series because it won't get easier. Division rivals, the best team in the American League after that at home, one of the best teams in the entire MLB after that. Then you get another, on the road against Tampa Bay in their home ballpark, which is, the Yankees' spring training ballpark. Then the Rangers. You see how it starts quickly get out of hand. You
basically have like 2 weeks of like tough baseball after this LA series, and then it gets maybe a fraction easier with Texas and Oakland.
Every series is hard when every team is better than you.
Well, when you score 3.5 runs a game, it's fucking hard.
It gets pretty damn hard.
I'm pretty confident that you take out the swear word right there. That's almost word for word what Joe Siddle said. Like on this past weekend, he's like, when you score 3.5 runs a game,
it's hard.
Every series is hard. I'm like, totally, dude. I agree with you.
Every game's it's a grind. That's what it feels like overall when we're about to go transition a little bit here, guys. But overall, like every game has felt like a fucking grind for the Toronto Blue Jays. So they got to score more runs to make it less.
That's the thing, dude. Like, again, when you put up 5 a game, it's not that hard.
No, it's pretty easy.
It's actually a lot easier. Let's transition to the final segment of this video, though. It is time to spin the wheel.
The spinning fortune, baseball, colorful, future determining, stat analyzing, and it's a wheel that we spin every week.
It is, in fact, a wheel that we spin every single week. We've been kind of going back and forth with the splits recently.
Yeah.
Your week last week, I was kind of in the tank. I didn't love my selections, but we managed to weather the storm here. Which one did I take? Which one did you take?
So you got the Vladdy home run, 2-1 against Santander. Springer and Jimenez both tied with the stolen bases with 1 apiece. And then Santander and Springer. Springer struck out a lot more, actually, than Santander. Actually had a decent week with only 3 strikeouts.
Really?
So kind of shocking.
Because he didn't actually, like, he wasn't hitting that great.
No, just wasn't striking out.
Wow.
Signs for good things to come.
Hopefully. I mean, it is May, so that is definitely a factor. It will be my week this week. We have a 2-category advantage. I'm looking personally to get at least a 3-category advantage, so we have a whole week of buffer.
We gotta like lower the exposure on this camera because you guys can't even see.
No, I know it's like pretty tough, but what is that?
It's OPS.
OPS batters.
OPS.
I gotta take a look at who is. I mean, I know that Bo Bichette is doing well because he hit a home run.
That's right.
It's like the second. Like, all he needs is one home run, and he'll have a great OPS week because you know that he's gonna hit.
Yep.
Guerrero did pretty good.
Kirk's did good. And you can't, I mean, look, this is the last 15 days. Oh yeah, last 15 days.
Oh god.
Springer. It looks better than the last 7 days.
Yeah, it does look a lot better than the last 7 days. Again, because it's that early part of the week, right?
Right.
And then the boys just like.
And they were on the road trip 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
They were awful on the road trip.
All right, be my guest, man. You can take this one away and pick at will.
I always feel comfortable selecting the $500 million man myself. Not myself, but Vladdy. I'll take Vladdy for OPS.
That's pretty. That is definitely fair. Let me see it again.
Let's bring it up. Here it is. So you got Bo.
Yeah. So the question is, guys, is Bo Bichette going to hit a home run this week?
Oh, Springer.
Is Bo Bichette going to hit a home run this week? That's right. I would honestly, I'm very close to picking Alejandro. It's just like the guy doesn't hit for pop ever. Yeah. Like the fact that he got 1 home run this past week is phenomenal. I'll say that it's Bo Bichette's week to go insane. Yeah. He's gonna really start picking it up. He opened the floodgates this past weekend, and now you're gonna see it really start to come through. So I'll go Bo Bichette there on OPS, and I'll feel good about that.
Not bad at all.
Spinning for the 2nd category, I will be going first on both of these.
We will
also, no bonus player has been spun yet this season.
And worst J is the category.
Oh my goodness! I wish I could just take like whoever starts tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I know, right?
Like, who is that gonna be?
So yeah, that's the thing. We know our four guys are. We don't know.
I know. I just genuinely don't even know like who the hell that guy's gonna be.
Who would you guys pick? Let us know in the chat.
Can I see the pictures? I usually like going pictures in this, just because like I feel like there's fewer options that like I leave you with.
Right.
Because I'm honestly considering going like a bullpen arm or some shit.
So let's go
last. Gonna give up runs.
Last 15 days. Ooh, Gossman's been awful last. Let's go get the one inning. The one inning.
Yeah, the one bad start. Bassett's getting up.
Josh Walker's gone. Garcia just that one thing. Francis has actually been really bad. He's been actually getting blown up a lot.
Yeah, I just don't like to bet against Bowden Francis. Yeah, though.
Chad Green. He's been kind of inconsistent.
Show me the offense now. Yeah. I mean, who has been? I can't go against Anthony Santander in May.
Exactly.
It's May though.
It's May.
Oh, Andres freaking.
Andres Jimenez will get a lot lot of playing time. That's actually a good one.
He is like pretty bad.
I think I know what you're about to do.
I have to do it.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
I'll go on. Clement. I would say Clement's pretty. Wait. Can I see Clement really quick?
Okay.
What is Clement doing?
Last 15 days, Clement. Where the fuck is he?
Oh, he's up there.
Ernie Clement.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, he's been bad too. Those might be the two picks, though.
Can I see the last 7 days?
Last 7 days, Clement.
Oh my God, it's like so close. It's like legitimately like back. It's so close.
Whichever one you do, I'll do the other.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Ernie Clement. Okay. There's a possibility that Jimenez gets on and gets like some stolen bases or something.
Okay.
And like that would obviously be part of his value.
Fair enough.
It's like
I'll take Jimenez. Jimenez. Those guys have been pretty ass so far.
Wow, those are the worst Jays. All right, final category, everybody. What's it gonna be? Give me a bonus player.
Barger wrote in. We usually don't pick guys who don't get playing time.
Yeah, and I'm also never gonna pick Addison Barger just because I love Addison Barger. OPS again. Gonna spin one more time.
Barger can't hit at all, dude. They've been playing Barger more. We didn't talk about that, but they're trying to get him like going. Just 'cause
yeah,
of the
and
hard
he's
hit.
actually been okay, dude.
Like he's hitting the ball hard, just not anywhere safe. Stolen bases. There you go.
I mean, this one's
think
pretty easy for me.
Yep.
I will take Andres Jimenez. This is the guy when it comes to stolen bases. I'm shocked that I survived last week.
Right.
against him.
I know. Well, I will. I'll be taking the guy who helped you survive, which is George Springer. Who's the only guy who
those are
steals
quite
bases.
literally like the only
you go.
two options, man. Like
Wow.
nobody else steals bags consistently enough
Yeah.
on this team. Like maybe Miles Straw. Like I don't know.
Yeah, no, like
it's,
you never
it's
get a chance.
Jimenez and it's Springer, and that is it on the Toronto Blue Jays.
Strike 21 says Jimenez has been hot lately. I don't know what Jimenez you're watching. I don't know what Jimenez you're watching, my friend. He has not been very good.
He had like one kind of good game, I think, yesterday.
Oh, is that it?
And I think he went like 2 for. I think he scored some RBIs or something
Yeah.
like that. I believe so, anyways. But other than that, it has been like ice cold. Yeah.
Ice cold. All right, guys. Well, that's the Blue Jays Today show. You guys let us know in the chat who you would pick for these categories, and as well, let us know about this upcoming series. If you're feeling a sweep, hell yeah, the Blue Jays freaking need it to go above 500 yet again. But yeah, let us know about like Max Scherzer, the whole thing, about the injuries, blah 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 blah. Let your thoughts be known down there.
Yeah, please make sure to hit that like, smash the subscribe button. $4 a month, become a YouTube member. And thank you to all of our great YouTube members. You guys are amazing. We're gonna be live for the game tomorrow, I believe, and then also on Friday as well. Late games, but if you're staying up, then we will be here, folks. So you'll have somebody to watch with.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching.
And as always,
Go Jays, go!